Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to live Q&A on the 22nd of January 2018. Sorry we're a couple minutes late, we had a couple of internet glitches, but I think we have fixed those out. So the way these work is as they always do. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them. It's a new Monday, new things going on. Got to play an incredibly long game this weekend, did not plan to, just so happened, called John Company from I forget the name of the designer now, but it was a quite lengthy game. I don't normally play that style of game, just so happened. So let's see here. We'll see if there's any questions for these. No hat? Yeah. I'm not wearing a hat today. No worries. I'll wear one next time to make you feel better. It's my favorite Vasel? Well, that's not fair to my daughters. Would you consider Gloomhaven's fighting mechanism the best one out there right now? No, I don't know. And if not, which one is? I don't, fighting mechanism. I tend to really like Kemet's fighting system a lot. Barrel of Monkeys, toy or early dexterity game? Yes. And I'm caught up in questions. I guess we can shut it down now. Actually, I think I'm caught up in questions. Let me look. What are your thoughts on Core World? It's my favorite deck builder, but my friends all complain it's too long. Well, I've done a review of it, so you can see my thoughts on it. It is too long with multiple players. I will only play Core Worlds with 3 players now. It runs at a much better speed at that point. What does the dice say right before it falls down the tower in your intros? Is there any meaning behind it? There is not. It is nonsense. It is nothing. I think I'm going to have to put like a sign in the wall. It says, no, I haven't finished Gloomhaven. Ask again in 2028. It's going to take me a really long time with the influx of new games to stay on one game that long. I will play Gloomhaven occasionally. I like playing it. It is my favorite game, but I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. It takes like 90 to 100 games. That's like a third of my year. So no, well, not a third of my year, but a lot of a year. I am new to board gaming, haven't been watching since the marathon. My area only has a Walmart to buy board games. What websites did I buy board games from, says Sean. Well, you should use Cool Stuff. They're my sponsor of the show, so take that into account, but Cool Stuff has great selection and great prices. That's coolstuffinc.com. How hyped am I for Black Panther? I am, but I'm kind of like not wanting to see any more trailers. I feel like I'm seeing a good chunk of the movie at this point. They're really hyping this one. I want to see it, but there's a lot of trailers and things out there. My favorite childhood toy. You know what I really like, and I haven't seen these in ages, Constructs, Construx. They were an alternative to Legos. They were like little plastic beams, like steel beams in a sense, but they connected to these blue and orange and green connector pieces. You snapped them on and twisted them off. And you could build like really cool giant trucks and things move around. I really like them. But it was actually G.I. Joe. But there's a lot of toys that I haven't even seen, like Mega Machines we played with, these giant, like tanks fighting each other, and G.I. Joe. We played Legos, G.I. Joe, Transformers. There was some magnet toy, I forget the name, they were like all these little spacemen and they had magnetic feet, and when you put them into different things, they all would like open or close and do different things based on magnets. Also Mask was great. You look better with the hat, says someone. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Have I had a chance to play Empires of the Void 2 yet? No, in fact, I don't believe we've even unboxed it yet, but it's going to happen. Whatever happened to the Rules Girl videos that you announced would be on the Dice Tower? They're on the Dice Tower a lot. If you do a search for them in our videos, you'll see several of them. I don't know if they've had any in the last couple of weeks, but there is definitely a lot of their videos on our website. Cole Wheeler designed John Company. That's correct. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Scythe expansion? I think it looks great. You got your tracking number for Rising Sun? Huh? I didn't get my tracking number for Rising Sun. Let me look now. I'm going to see if it showed up here. Rising Sun. I typed Rising Sudge, which is not a word. Did I mean Rising Sun? I did. I don't see no tracking number. But then again, I haven't been really paying attention. This is one of the things. Sometimes so many boxes come in that you don't notice one. I'll be like, oh, what's this? This is. I'll notice Rising Sun when it shows up, I'm sure. Why do you think Hate is doing so poorly on Kickstarter? Well, I will look this up. Hate Kickstarter. That's probably. Oh no, it worked. That's like find a bunch of people like I hate Kickstarter. Bad internet. It's at 677,000. I am mind-boggled sometimes at what people think is doing poorly. If you mean poorly as opposed to doing 5-6 million, sure. But this is a game that has a very, very distinct audience. I mean, it's not. I'm not even in that audience, right? It's miniatures, hatred, eating people, cannibalism, all that jazz. Okay, and it made 677,000. That's pretty good. I would highly argue against the fact that that is doing poorly. I think people want it to do poorly, or you're just doing comparisons. But if go grab a random Kickstarter and be like, would you like your Kickstarter to make 677,000? They would start weeping with tears gushing out of their face because they couldn't even imagine going that high. No, they could imagine it. That's a bad phrase. I always think that phrase is really bad when I see people and they're like on America's Got Talent or whatever. They're like, I never imagined I would make it this far. What a bunch of baloney. Of course you imagined you'd make it that far. That's why you joined in the first place, because you thought you might win. And even if you thought, I don't think I'm going to win, you definitely imagined yourself winning. So that phrase, I never imagined I would do this. Whatever, you definitely imagined it. I mean, sometimes the phrase is useful when you're in some really weird situation, like, I never imagined this. Sure, but when you win a contest, you imagined it. Tom's rant for the day. Have you any experience with someone who chain smokes? Someone in my game group takes smoke breaks every 10 to 20 minutes. Well, if that bothers you that they're leaving every 10 to 20 minutes, I don't know how long they have to go out. You might say, hey, I can't play these games with you. It takes up too much time. I don't know how confrontational you want to be in that regard. Would you like a Zelda Breath of the Wild board game? I'd look at it, but I don't want it necessarily, because who cares? It's a great video game. I don't need it to be a board game. See, I don't necessarily need these video games to be translated into board games. It might work, it might be fantastic, just like I don't need a board game to be a video game. You know what I want is a sequel to Skyrim. Get on that, Bethesda. Remember, folks, I don't work for a lot of companies, so if you're asking for updates and things on games, if the company has not announced it, I'm not going to do an announcement for them on my thing here. You're better off asking them. Because people are like, when is this coming out? When's that coming out? That's best to ask those companies. I ask them these questions sometimes, and if they tell me, then we will post it in our news. Let's see here. Is TI4 okay with 3 players? I know people who've played it with 3 players. I've never tried it that way myself. I don't know that I would be opposed to it, though. Let's see here. So if I cut out the question that says, when will you review this, or what do you think of this, there's not a whole lot of questions here. Dice Tower Con, when will there be a preliminary schedule posted? Of the con itself, not yet. I had a long conversation today with the folks at Dice Tower Con, and so we have some ideas. We're going to do a few new things this year. Well, a lot of things that are the same, but some new things. And we'll be announcing that stuff soon, but really don't wait. If you haven't got your Dice Tower Con ticket yet, you want to go to dicetowercon.com. Get the tickets. Come on down and join us in Orlando, Florida. It is going to be a blast. Let's see here. People are still asking about expansions and things. I'm so tired the baby won't go back to sleep. Stick the baby in a room, close the door, and you go to your room and you close your door and go to sleep. The baby is not going to suddenly have a conniption. If you're really worried about the baby, set an alarm for 3 or 4 hours, get some sleep. Don't let the baby control your sleep. You control the baby's sleep. With us, what we did we fed for every baby, and I should say we, my wife, we fed the baby on a schedule. First, it was like every 3 hours the baby got fed. Eventually, after a couple months, moves every 4 hours, and then so on. And then at night, we put the baby to bed, but we did not wake them up until they cried. When they cried, then we fed the baby, and then immediately put them back into bed. And like within a week, they feed once over the night, and within 2 months or so, they don't wake up the whole night. Now, that might be a fluke. That has happened to me 7 times. For my wife and I, we're pretty battle-hardened now. The baby's crying, we're like, it is what it is, right? But the first baby, you have to harden your heart a little because they're going to cry. You can go and make sure they're comfortable, make sure they're fed, and after that, don't let them bother you. It's easy for me to say because I can sleep through a hurricane. I have. But my wife has gotten used to it also. Parenting advice from the Vasels. Do you have any idea of how many game designers frequently watch your videos? Many of them. I know this because they come and talk to me. How many designers might have seen your top 10 things designers should stop doing? Well, that I don't know about. I know some did because they commented on it. Howdy, Tom. Was disappointed that the newest Civ incarnation didn't seem to capture the spirit of the digital version. What games, if any, have come the closest to capturing that feeling? Probably, through the ages, probably. What is your go-to Dungeons & Dragons character to play? I have no go-to character to play. I try to pick a different one every single time. I just try to play different weird things. I don't care. Kinex, it was spelled Kinex. Is that why I can never find it? No, I'm not thinking of the Kinex. That is not what I'm talking about. It was called Constructs. Type that in, Construx. That is what I'm talking about. I played with those as a kid. Yep, there they are. They're Constructs, and they were fun. They're made by Fisher Price. They were, I don't know where you can buy them now. According to Wikipedia, they were introduced in 1983, and you could build all sorts of big machines. There was even panels, I remember this. And it ran all the way up to 1988. It was revived in 1997, and then now it's back as Mega Constructs in 2017. Which created the same folks who made Mega Bloks. Huh. Well, I liked Constructs. I don't know why we're getting caught up on that. Okay. I enjoyed your piece about game theft on Board Game Breakfast earlier. It's a very interesting topic. But do you have more thoughts? Well, it's the same thing. It's something that I'm kind of conflicted on because, sometimes you look at something, you're like, you copied that person. There's a game I'm reviewing this week. Is it this week I'm reviewing it? Yep, it is. There's a game I'm reviewing this week, which a lot of it feels like a copy of another game. Except the game that it's copying is out of print. You can't get that game anymore. So is that okay to do? It changes a lot of things, but a good 50% of the game is pretty much the same thing. So I don't know how I feel about that. Transformers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? If you're talking about the toys, then Transformers. If you're talking about the comic books, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you're talking about the cartoon, I don't care. I like them both, I guess. If you're talking about the movies, I don't know. Are there any non-gaming conventions that you go to, like a Comic-Con or a home show or a boat show? I went to the fair on Saturday with my kids. Does that count? We went to the one part of the fair where they have all the booths who make stuff, homemade stuff or candles, whatever, and I was like, ooh, it's my favorite part. I just love going to a big convention center. If I have the time and I'm near a convention center and I can get in somehow to go and look at something, I would. When we were a kid, my mom took me to the flower show, and I was like, I don't want to go to a flower show. but I liked it because it was a big show. All sorts of things you can see. We went and saw the animal wildlife shows or the hunting and fishing shows, and I think a car show might not interest me that much, but I don't know. Anytime I see anything, it's like, ooh, let me look at all the different booths and see what they have. That sort of thing just really appeals to me. Did I get dream catchers from Essen? I don't know, maybe. There's a lot of dream games now. What happened to your hair? Oh, I got a haircut last week. It was kind of getting long on the side, so I cut it. I didn't cut it, someone else cut it. How does someone become a contributor for the Dice Tower? Normally they email me and they send me an audition video of sorts, and then I say yes, no, maybe I would fix this, whatever. Let's see. High fives or handshakes? I like the handshake. High fives are always a little awkward, like are we going high, are we going low, how hard do we hit? Handshake is a good firm handshake. It's good to meet you. I like handshakes a lot. What's another top 10 you think needs to be updated? How about top 10 two-player strategic games? We'll be doing that one this week. What's the name of the Greek restaurant you say is so great in Essen? I don't remember for the life of me. I'll have to look it up somewhere. We just went to it. It was 2 subway stops away from it, maybe 3 subway stops. We got off the subway, walked up, went down the street, and we were there. It was great, but I don't remember the name of it. Favorite moment during the marathon? Maybe watching Jason hum. Weekly update on the cruise announcement? Well, not really. The cruise thing is going to be happening in February. I don't know actually when they're opening up registration. That's up to Jason, but he just went to England. He got back today or last night or this morning or something like that, or now. He's back. He went to some friends of his were having a 20th or 25th or something rock concert anniversary. He's friends with some band. I'm not very good at knowing all this information. I know that when we talked about it, Kenny and Z all knew the name of the band. I did not. But anyway, he went to go see that. What do you think about the number of players sent to the continent? I played with all the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like them all. I'm happy with all 4 numbers. If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what game would you choose? I don't know, Skyrim maybe? Other people are getting their tracking numbers for Rising Sun. What is that all about? One thing you could just take as a hands down is when people ask me, did I back something? I very rarely back something. But if you want to know if I back something, you can go find me and see what projects I backed. I don't back many, though, just for purposes like all the rest. The reason you don't back that many is I only have so much money. My top 5 hot sauces, that would be really hard because I'm always like, I'll just try new ones. In fact, I was at the fair on Saturday and I bought some new hot sauces, so I'm going to try one of those tonight. They had a mango ghost pepper one. Was it mango ghost pepper? No, it wasn't mango ghost pepper. It was mango. Was it mango habanero? No, it was mango Scotch bonnet, which sounds really good. I like Scotch bonnet a lot. The ghost pepper popped in my head because they had all these ghost peppers there. They also had eat a bug, so they had like these little things, some crickets and stuff with different flavors. They had chocolate things. So I offered my kids $5 a pop if they would eat it, and I think 4 of them took me up on it. And then I ate one. It wasn't bad, but it was like so chocolatey that you could barely tell there was a cricket inside or pieces of cricket or whatever. That's not really on topic with hot sauces, but I love hot sauces, and I was glad to stop by that stand and get some hot sauces. I also got some ghost pepper spice mixes, a little bit of ghost pepper and some other things, and you mix them with sour cream and make a dip. That's for the Super Bowl, which the Eagles are in. Go Philadelphia. Congratulations. I grew up in the Allentown area. My brothers are big Philadelphia fans. So congratulations to you guys for getting to the Super Bowl, where you'll probably lose to the Patriots, but we can always hope. For the rest of the world, and for many people who don't care about football, I'm with you. But got to root a little bit for the home team. Let's see. What is something that we would not expect that you watch on YouTube? Well, let's see here. Let's go to YouTube. And let's pull up things that I watch on YouTube. I think I have a history, right? So I can look at things that I watch. Recently, I found a guy that I really like watching, Captain Disillusion. He has amazing special effects, and he like debunks stuff. Like he'll say, when you see this video here and this magic trick happened, or these people shot a basketball and a hit, and he'll show you how they used the Photoshop and other tools to, I mean, he might be wrong, I don't know, but it's interesting, and his special effects are so good. I like the fact that he can recreate what they did, and so I'm really enjoying that. Also, what have I been watching recently on YouTube? Well, there's a lot of fart duels here. That's not me, though. A lot of my own stuff being watched. Oh, yeah, there's the Emmy Awards from 1998. I was watching that because Jason Levine was in that. Unexpected Waves. I watched some videos of people getting knocked over by waves. I don't know why I found that humorous. And then, of course, there's a lot of just different videos. Oh, there's some figure skating stuff. I was watching that. I like good figure skating. There you go. What are solutions to the fake board games issues that Asmodee execs talked about? I don't know, honestly. That's a tough call. I guess a solution is, I mean, I'm not normally one for government stepping in, but this might be a spot where the government needs to step in and crack down on this, because it's mostly coming from Amazon, right? It's not coming from your game store or from online board game stores, because they're all getting them from distributors, and distributors are getting them from publishers. So the chain is very strong there, right? So if you go to your local store and buy a game, go to online, they got it from a distributor. That distributor got it from the publisher. That's a 1-to-1, 1, 2, 3. You get it from Amazon. I don't know where it comes from, and that's where it gets a little hairy. So I don't really have a good answer to this solution. I guess this would be a good question. If I get a chance when I am at the Gamma convention this year, I will talk to them and see if I can pin a couple of the Asmodee executives down and talk about this. This might be a really interesting back and forth video thing. Do you think Kickstarter is overtaking traditional publishing? I don't know that. I got to be careful, because, you know, on one glance you're like, yeah, definitely. But it's not, because traditional publishing is still this humongous billion-dollar beast, right? It's still gigantic. And there's still many, many games out there. If you ignored Kickstarter, you'd still be able to get a lot of great games. However, Kickstarter is definitely in the industry now. And I would not be surprised that in the next 5 years, there comes a year where the top 10 games ranked of a year are all Kickstarter games. Again, it doesn't mean Kickstarter is dominating the industry. But it does mean that Kickstarter certainly has a foothold in. Will it overtake traditional publishing? I'm not sure. We are kind of at a weird thing when it comes to games being published, because there are so many games out right now, and a game has to really make a splash for people to want to play it, to get involved with it, and that's difficult. And there's like games coming out with a gazillion pieces. There are Kickstarters that are doing really well. They publish. Boom, the game's gone. They go on to the next one, and it's a frenzied race out there, and publishers are getting frustrated because they have really good games. I mean, I'm looking over at these shelves right now, and there's a lot of games out there. I was talking to the guys yesterday. We were looking at these games, and I said, the vast majority of those games are already, no one's talking about them, and they haven't even technically come out, several of them. It's just hard to get a foothold right now. Is Jason okay from the horrible comments people have said about him because of his game collection? Yeah, I was a little surprised at how rude people were there in that regard. I mean, people begged and begged and begged us to make the video, and we got two sets of complaints. One, why does Jason have all these games? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I've had that discussion with Jason before, but the fact is, it just the way people phrased it and things like that was extremely rude, especially when he said things like, if you come over, I will crack open a game and shrink and play it right now. That's not the mark of a hoarder or collector. That's one who likes to play games. Also, he's planning on culling a lot. He's just waiting for he wants to get the Nick Guinness book. The other comments were made about the video, like, why were there so many close-ups? Well, we used my phone to record it because the phone is pretty good, and also because the shelves were like this wide apart, right? So I had to get in there, and I was leaning back trying to get as far as I could and still get Jason's voice in the background where he talked about it, and then I would go him. And so it wasn't the best of videos, but I have a hard time thinking how we could do it otherwise unless we went in there and moved the shelves around physically, which would be a very big bear. Now, I did ask Jason if he'd do a segment on one of our shows where he takes a shelf and videos that shelf and talks about the games on that shelf, and I think people would like that. So I know the video was not perfect. The video work could have been better, I'm sure. We also got complaints. Some people, why was it so long? Because his collection's that big. Or why was I rushing him and so fast? I was rushing him, not rushing because I didn't want to get it over with. I wanted to make sure it was a manageable thing. If it said 2 or 3 hours, no one was going to watch it. I wanted to have it in a reasonable time frame. I thought 30 minutes was a reasonable time frame. Do you think CMON will ever do a large miniatures type game that doesn't contain skulls and death? Yes, I do think that, actually. What else is there to do besides Disney and Orlando when I go for Dice Tower Con? Well, there is a lot to do. If you have an hour, you definitely want to go to the Kennedy Space Museum. That is an amazing place. It's about an hour outside Orlando. An hour south, or 45 minutes south of Orlando, is the Legoland, which is cool. Universal Studios is there, of course, which is a good, they fight back and forth with Disney to get stuff. There's a gazillion water parks in the area. You can go to one of those. There's other amusement parks that are not that. Then, of course, there's SeaWorld and Aquatica. And then there are at least 5 dinner theater shows in the area. There's a bunch of smaller museums. There's a chocolate museum. There is a CSI museum. I don't know if that one's still there. I think there's a Titanic museum. There's a bunch of these little museum type things that are there. There's the Crayola experience at the mall. There's so much stuff in Orlando. There's the thing where you can like float on the wind. There's gators and alligator farms that are close nearby. I mean, just look online. There is so much stuff that's do in Orlando. Now, if you're asking for something cheap to do, the list will shrink considerably. Why would you want to go over to Twitch for Q&A? No. Okay, again, I'm going to keep saying this as many times as I can. We're not leaving YouTube. We're just adding Twitch. That's all. We're adding Twitch. We're not leaving YouTube. We just want to stream on both simultaneous. Is Kickstarter killing retail stores? I don't think so. I don't see that there's any evidence of that. How do you feel about the controversy surrounding over-sexualized female miniatures in a Nemesis Kickstarter? How do you feel about the response from some gamers that these issues don't matter? I am unaware of such a Kickstarter, so let me look this up. The Nemesis Kickstarter. All right, this is from Awaken Realms, the Nemesis board game, a semi-cooperative sci-fi. It's made $2 million, 15 days to go. I will obviously be talking about this one in my next thing. I see big, giant, nasty monsters and stalkers and nests and more monsters and more monsters, and I see a medic and more monsters. I see a lot of reviewers saying the game is great, of course. That doesn't mean it. That means nothing to me on a Kickstarter usually. I see previews and previews and previews and previews. Oh man, they paid for a lot of previews. Well, they got 2 million. Well, I don't know what the controversy is, so I'm not seeing it jump out at me here on the website. Website looks fine. It must be somewhere else. Okay, sorry. I don't know anything about the controversy about that. How do I feel about some gamers that these issues don't matter? Again, I don't know enough about the controversy to give a clear thing either one way or the other. The hate Kickstarter is underperforming to the point that CMON is taking stretch goals and making them lower. That's fine. But again, underperforming and doing badly are two different things. It's kind of like when people said that the Star Wars Last Jedi movie did horrible last year. I'm like, it was the #1 grossing film that year. Wow, yeah, but it wasn't as good as the last Star Wars. Okay, fine. But again, it did really well. I don't know, just an odd thing to me. Oh yeah, someone's mentioned there's a lot of escape rooms in Orlando. You're right. That's something in Orlando too. There's a lot of escape rooms there. Why do you like Vincent Dutrait's art so much? It's fine. I don't get it. Well, that's fine. I mean, art is certainly a subjective thing. If you like someone else's art better, I would have no problem with that. I think Vincent Dutrait is by far the best artist. I like Piero a lot too, and there's that. I forget her name. I apologize. The artist who does the artwork for Plaid Hat does a lot of their games. I like her. I like Michael Menzel. There's just a lot of really great artists out there now, and gaming. But Vincent Dutrait's just my favorite. But if you don't like it, no worries. Will Days of Wonder be releasing a new game this year? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. They haven't announced it yet if they are. I'll probably know by the Gathering of Friends time, I guess. What are some older games that frequently go under the radar due to newer games? I don't have time to list the 10,000 games that would fit in that category. Everything. People go to a game store, you'll see people playing all the new stuff usually. Skyrim sequels many years ago. It's not even in pre-production yet. Yeah, I know. I heard that too. But that's still what I want. How many people work with you on your show? Is it you alone, or do you have IT support, script writers, etc.? We definitely don't have script writers, something anyone who watches our show will loudly tell you is true. We have a staff of 5 here. We have myself, head reviewer, administrator, chief bottle washer. Actually, that's not true. I don't wash the bottles. I make my kids do that. I have a lot of different hats. Then Sam and Z are reviewers / editors. Derek is full-time video editor, and then Kenny is administrative assistant here, and logistics. He's actually is the one who's running this feed now, or at least set it up right now, and putting a lot of extra stuff together for us. Favorite cereal? A plate of spaghetti, maybe? I don't like cereal. I heard you're from PA. Do you visit other than for PAX Unplugged? Not really. My brother lives in Pennsylvania, and so I visited. I talked to him and spent some time with him when PAX Unplugged came around, but that was it. I haven't been to Pennsylvania. My dad lives out in Nebraska. My one sister moved to Oregon. The other sister's up in Canada, and my other brother is in Indianapolis. So, and my grandparents are gone. My aunts and uncles. My one aunt is in Maryland. There's just no reason to go back to Philadelphia other than the fantastic stuff that's in Philadelphia. Scenario. Oh, this is a good one. The person explaining rules doing a poor job. To save the experience, how far would you go to remedy the situation? That's a tough call, right? That's where you're sitting there and someone else is explaining the rules and they're doing a really bad job. You know how to play the game. So you're like this, trying not to jump in because that's very rude. And you see the person there is like, I don't know what I would do. I might jump in and explain a few things, maybe, but then you're kind of cover-cutting the other person. I just teach all the games, so I don't. But I have sat at games before where someone else taught, and then I thought, they're not doing a very good job. But then again, maybe it's mom the problem, and I'm just being a jerk. So I got to be careful about that. Am I 24 minutes behind? Are you guys asking that many questions? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't realize I was that far behind. Top 5 Jeff Smith's Bone characters. Oh, that's good. Smiley Bone, number 1. Grandma, number 2. The dragon, number 3. The really thin guy who died, number 4. Oh, I can't remember his name. Number 5. Oh, the 2 rat creatures. The 2 stupid rat creatures. Actually, they might be higher than that. I really like them. All right, let's go faster. I'm not going to New York Toy Fair. Have things changed with your attendance at Gamma? Yeah, my communication with Gamma, which is bad communication back and forth between me and Gamma. I will be at Gamma this year. Tomorrow I'm posting a video that talks about the conventions and what we're doing at each of the conventions we go to this year. I can't believe people actually pay money here to ask their questions when Tom answers them for free. That's true. I can't believe it either, but I do appreciate those who do very much. It's very nice that money goes to the Dice Tower and helping run the place. And if you do ask money, I will always answer your question while we'll skip it. I shouldn't say always because now people might pick some really weird question. I will within reason answer your question, I guess. All right, so now I'm going really fast. So babies never died from crying for a few minutes. Yeah, that's true. Wow, I'm really far behind on this. We'll be going to UK Games Expo in June. Yes. Let's see here. Favorite subject in high school? Math. Please only give gaming advice. Never give child rearing advice. Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't do that. Well, I was asked, one, and two, I think giving child advice, rearing advice, first of all, I think that I am somewhat qualified to give it, as I do have 7 children, and I think my children have turned out fantastic. I don't think they are like the best in everything. That's foolish. So I think it's okay for me to give out advice. I think what's wrong is if I give out advice and I act like if you don't follow it, you're a moron, an idiot. I don't think that. People raise their kids in different ways. So, and I don't walk around to someone and go, this is what you should do with your kids. But someone mentioned the crying baby, and so I answered it. I apologize. I do not wish to offend in this regard. But at the same time, I'm not going to take back what I said. So. Simple solution, no babies. They're an enemy of gaming. Nah, I have never regretted having my children. It is the best decision I've ever made. It's fantastic. And I get sad all the time because this year, one of them is leaving me. And pretty soon they'll all be gone. My family is extremely competitive, where it's making gaming not fun. Should I try only co-ops with them? Yeah, that's what I would do. If they're super competitive, I would just play co-ops with them. You did a Best of Publisher series. We're talking about a Best of Designer series. Is that still happening? Well, what luck! Yes, I've already recorded the intro, and I'm working on the first 2. That's going to be all this year. This whole year is going to be Best of Designers. There's a lot of them. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, folks, I'd like to apologize right now. What happened here is this thing stopped grabbing questions between 2:17 and 2:35. So if you asked any kind of question in that time frame, I totally missed it. And so I apologize. You can ask those again. So if you asked anything between Ben Steeler saying constructs were awesome, which is true, and Stuart Rudder saying these companies have to play their demo like they like these female characters, you think Wonder Woman would do as well without Gal Gadot. Anyway, between those 2 comments, everything is missing here, and I apologize for that. So you can ask those questions again, and I'm sorry. But now I'm only 7 minutes behind. Besides the over-the-top games Jason showed at the end, did Jason tell you which one he's most proud of or happy to have? No, but that's a good question that you can ask him, I think. Has Sagrada grown on you over time? When you mentioned in a new board game breakfast, you seem to like it more than your original review indicated. No, I feel the exact same way as I did then. I just think it's a good game, that's all. How often do you cut your hair? I get my hair when it starts annoying me. For me personally, it really bothers me when my hair touches my ears, and I'll let it, and I'll go, ah. And the main reason I don't go to the barber is because it's time. I'm like, oh, I got to sit there at the barber. Okay, fine, I'll go. Because I'm always wanting to do things, and I feel the barber shop is a wasted opportunity to be doing something. And I know you say you get a haircut at home. I'm not adding more stuff to my family of things to do. And I actually do like going to the barber shop. I like hearing the barbers argue back and forth about various things. I like that whole atmosphere. It's just that time. But I go do it occasionally. So I do it when it starts annoying me. Sometimes I'll do it like right before a convention or something too. What is the Gathering of Friends? The Gathering of Friends is a invite-only convention started by Alan Moon, where he invites a bunch of his friends, and then that grew. It's like 350 people there. A lot of designers and publishers go there. Don't worry, you're not missing on some awesome, amazing thing, but we go there because it's a good way for us to talk and have meetings and things with a lot of people, and we also get a lot of games played that week. What are the King Domino stickers like? No pics on Kickstarter. Actually, I just got them in my mailbox today. We're doing a final check on them, and I will post them if they pass our approval. I'll post them, otherwise we will post them later. What do you feel about puppets in general? I like puppets a lot. What are the dates for the cruise again? It's February. I don't know the exact dates at this point, but like I said, it should be opening up soon. Tom is a flat earther? I don't believe so. I like math a lot. Are we going to be at Essen this year? Yes. We'll be selling the Z and Sam figure promos? No, actually. We are down to just a handful of the Sam promos, so we're going to do nothing with those. I mean, we have less than, I think we have maybe 10. The Z ones, we have like 30 or 40. I'm saving those for game shows. So they're pretty much out. I don't know that we're getting any more either. Can you walk through the algorithm for the ordering of you three during top 10s? Sure. 10. Sam, me, Z. 9. Me, Z, Sam. 8. Z, Sam, me. 7. Z, me, Sam. 6. Me, Sam, Z. 5. Sam, Z, me. 4. Sam, me, Z. 3. Me, Z, Sam. 2. Z, Sam, me. 1. We used to roll a die. Now we're just doing Sam, me, Z. It's easier for the editor. We might go back to rolling a die at some point, but that's how we do it. I think we mess up occasionally, but I have always done it that way, and I keep track of it in my head. Tom, you love Jurassic Park. Do you believe in dinosaurs? Do I worship dinosaurs? I don't think I worship dinosaurs. Do I believe dinosaurs existed? Yes. Did they have battle apes riding them with weapons? Yes. British tea drinkers demand to know, rich tea biscuit or digestive? Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Convince me to read Bone? Oh man, Bone is so good. It's my favorite comic of all time. You know what I like about Bone is, and because you might not finish it your first issue, right? You start reading, you're like, this is like Mickey Mouse, because the main characters, these three Bone characters, are these squabbling three brothers. And they're bone creatures. They look funny. And then suddenly at some point the art like switches and you suddenly see some art that looks like beautiful high fantasy art. Then a funny thing happens at the end of the comic, and when you get to the second one it kind of ramps up, and then the third one, and it's still kind of silly and funny. And there comes a point where suddenly you realize there's this really dark backstory that's going on in the background, which is really interesting. There's some great moments. And honestly, the series peaks early, I think. The Great Cow Race is probably the high point of the whole series. There's some other good points in it. And there's a lot of great things. It has a good ending, although the ending is not as good as I would preferred. And the prequel to it, Rose and all that, you can skip all that nonsense. It's okay. But that series itself, just fantastic. How do you handle people jumping in while you're explaining the rules to a game? One person in my group does it constantly, and it's really frustrating me as the explainer. You guys asking from the same group, asking questions earlier. But I don't know. It's if someone wants to jump in from a game, I would say something to the effect of, yeah, I'll get to that soon. I don't know how I would handle it. It's happened before, but usually I'm like, all right. But anyway. What ship expedition game do you prefer, Francis Drake or Marco Polo? That's a good question. I like them both, but I think I'd pick Marco Polo right now. Can I compare Clans of Caledonia and Gaia Project? I think Clans of Caledonia is a more straightforward game than Gaia Project. They're both big, grandiose games. I think I like Clans a lot better, actually. We pay to help out, not to ask questions, says Isathel. That's very nice of you. Hi, I'm from South Africa. Well, that's cool. Did I do that headquarters trivia thing? I don't know what that means. Can't wait to get can't wait to get a Tom emoji on Twitch. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to learn about Twitch. I very rarely used it. But our biggest thing with Twitch is that we're hoping to increase our audience, right? I don't want to fall into the trap. You know, I was just reading a thread of how much wargamers dislike me. And wargamers have like aged themselves out of the hobby. If you go like to a bunch of wargamers, I'm the youngest guy there. Sure, you'll find the occasional younger person there, you know, someone in their 20s or a teenager, like a kid from one of these people. You'll find a few females floating around, but for the most part, they're like aging themselves upwards in this hobby, and that's unfortunate. But it's something that we can all do. It's easy for us to do too. I'll see these kids playing games, and I say kids, and they're like in their 20s, and I'm like, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they're annoying, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm falling into that get off my lawn mode. We want these guys in the hobby. We want to grow the hobby. We want these designer games to be something for everybody. And we get comfortable, right? We're like, we're having a good time here. And we're getting older, right? This is, I'm not as young as I used to be. I still get called a young man all the time, which is very nice. My kids say I'm old, but I'm not getting younger. I mean, it's really weird. We started this in 2000. My first review was in 2002. That's 15 years ago. So what was I, 26? 26, huh? And I was young then, doing their reviews. And 41 isn't that much younger, but I want, so Twitch is something where I sit there and I'm like, I got this Twitch stuff. But you know what? It's good for the hobby. We want to grow things. So I have to constantly be smacking myself out of it. I didn't want to do Twitter. I was like, Twitter. But you know, people like that sort of thing. I guess now the thing is Snapchat. But it's just interesting. That wasn't even a question, sorry. My friends like tiny, colorful cubes. They've been asking for new recommendations. Century Spice Road's out of stock. Can you recommend any light game with colorful cubes? Man, I was going to say Century right off the bat, and you already jumped me on that one. I know there's games. I switch my cubes out for non-cubish things. I don't remember. Maybe someone else in the comments will help you. Can you release anything about the Critical Mass game in the Dice Tower Essentials line? How it plays, how it releases, when it releases? Well, it's releasing this year, this summer, actually. And so the way this game works is, and I'm only going to give you a general overview because I don't know how much they want to release in the game, but you have a mech playing against someone else's mech, and you have a hand of cards. This hand of cards represents your weapons, and they have a hand of card that represents their weapons and other things that the mech has. You will each be playing a card simultaneously face down. You reveal them. The faster card goes first. So the faster cards are usually not so good. But once you play a card, it's going to stay on the table, and you keep playing cards until you play a card that lets you pick your cards back up again. However, you're also going to be, possibly as the game goes by, upgrading and getting better weapons. And each mech has a very different feel to it. They have special, unique weapons. Some weapons, some are faster, some are trying to get bigger but slower weapons down. And you're trying to outthink your opponent. So it's essentially like a big game of rock, paper, scissors, but you're also trying to figure out the right card to play at the right time. I really, really like the game. And I know that there's going to be at least 4 mechs released initially. They're very different mechs and how they feel. So that's coming this summer. What does Melody think of 7th content? I think she likes it. But since we've reached a stretch goal, or we're about to reach a stretch goal of her and Jason doing their top 100. But see, what I haven't explained to people is I'm having them do it together. I'm gonna be in the middle, just the moderator, and I'll have Jason talk about his game and Melody talk about hers. There's going to be almost no crossover. Or maybe so. Melody likes some pretty heavy Euro games, so you never know. What's your dream team for Arcadia Quest? Monkey King, Monkey Queen, and the Pig. Thoughts on the DDoS attacks at Board Game Geek? This is like mind-blowing to me. Who I just don't. It's some disgruntled person causing this attacks. It's kind of a rude. I mean, it's rude and illegal, bad. I don't like it, obviously, but I can't. I'm trying to gauge who would want to do it. Like, they're not like a political. I could see like in politics, someone would attack someone else for what they believe in or what have you. They're board games. Who knows? Why do most large, popular Kickstarters come out on Tuesday? There's probably some reason for it. I know there's certain days that things do better. What animal will Jake have a fantasy race based on? Okay, so I like lion races. I like gorilla. I like animal-based races anyway. I tend to like ones like cow-based ones, minotaurs and things like that. What race is not commonly used? Like what animal is not commonly used as a race? It's hard to think of one because every animal I'm thinking of has one. How about the moose men, right? Big horns, A race of fox people would be interesting. Have you seen the Nintendo Labo presentation video? What do you think about it? I'm kind of mixed about this one because when I watch it, I'm like, wow, that's a really cool idea. First of all, by the way, that's a really good presentation I did there. That's the music, the timing. That was an excellently put together video. We're cautiously optimistic in the Vasel family. We looked at the stuff and we said, that looks fun. We'd like to try it. But we're definitely waiting for the reviews on it. We want to know because my kids said that cardboard ain't gonna last long in our house. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't know. We want this stuff to last. And how hard is it to put those things together? They made it easy in the video, like, yeah. Have you ever put that cardboard stuff together? Yeah. It's like, and then you start cursing a lot because it's really hard. So we're gonna wait and see. It's expensive too, but are the games worth it? But it's a cool idea. It's a cool concept, and I'm glad they're trying it. As more kids leave, any chance of a Vasel puppy? Man, I love dogs. I love puppies. But the thing about the puppy is, when you leave, you got to find someone to take care of it all the time. And that's where we run into problems. So I don't know. Maybe. Lots of people are saying they like the Dice Tower, and that's great. Any plans for Sam and C to do more Q&As? Yeah, it'll do some as time goes by. Barbers are a great way to talk and get things off your chest. Barbers are great listeners, like bartenders. No, I don't normally talk to barbers. I like to listen to them talk. I like to ask them a question because they hear stuff. They hear people come through all day long and they got stories to tell and things. I always find it interesting. And the more opinionated the barber is, the more I like them. Even if I highly disagree with them, I don't know, I just get a kick out of it because it's kind of like listening to one of those people on the internet just spout all their opinions, but you're seeing it in real life. That's a barbershop. Barbershops were there way before internet forums were invented. Have you played the third adventure of Unlock Mystery Adventures yet? Our review's going up tomorrow. Is Steve Toshin getting a Dice Tower Essentials reprint? Yes, it's going to be called Deep Pockets. I don't know why it slipped my mind. Deep Pockets, and it's also coming out this summer from Dice Tower Essentials. Very excited about this one. I know you're a fan of fireworks as I am. What genre is your favorite? For me, I'm a big fan of fountains. They're so visually appealing. Cakes. I love the cakes. Just to shoot up a whole bunch of stuff, see it explode. That's my favorite. After that, anything that spins makes me happy. Mortars are cool, and rockets are cool. I mean, I like every aspect. Firecrackers are probably my least favorite. They're interesting, but they fizzle out so quickly. How's the Xbox One? What's getting the most played on it? Well, Sam is currently utilizing it, so I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I will get it from Sam soon. You were once in Malaysia. Any plans on coming back? Man, give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I love Malaysia. If we go on a cruise but then skip a year or two, are we still on the priority list? I can't afford every year. That's a question for Jason. I don't know. I would assume so. And I don't expect people to be able to afford to go every year. However, happily, there isn't one this year. So. Wow, I am falling behind in questions so fast. Guys, I've never seen so many people ask questions before. How many people are? There's 630. Okay, I apologize. I would have been skipping more questions, I guess, and keeping up with things because I am just amazed at how many questions there are today, folks. I've been having a good time answering questions, and Battle Ape should be in everything. I think so. Tom, I think your time code is messed up. You're answering questions that were skipped. Maybe. I don't know. Don't Americans dunk in their tea? No, not really. We just drink our tea. I drink a cup every morning, or a half a cup anyway. Have you been to Volcano Bay yet? No, but we really want to go to Volcano Bay, that's for sure. Let's see. Same questions asked over and over. I'm just like going through. Wargamers dislike Tom. What did he do? Well, no. I made fun of Wargamers in our top 10 Wargame list, and probably a little bit more meaner than I should have been. And then I apologize, but too late. No, but Wargamers get annoyed at me because I say a lot of Wargamers get annoyed because they'll be like, "Remember, 44 is a war game," and they're like, "That's not a war game." I'm like, "It's about a war, and it's a game." And also, I call them out. It's nonsense that only a real wargamer can understand this simulation and blah, blah, blah. Those complicated games are fantastic. If people like them, I think that's a fantastic thing. But don't act like you're better than other people because you play them. Hardcore Euro gamers sometimes are the same way. You know, you look at a game and be like, "Hee, that's cute. Come here so we can smack you." Let's see here. Scott Nicholson designed a game where you throw cubes. Oh, that's a good. That's a good point. What was that game called now? It was an auction game from Stronghold Games by Scott Nicholson. You'd think I would know it. Well, I gave you enough information. You can look it up. You can find it. I think Nintendo's scamming people with that cardboard mess. Well, you don't know until you've seen it. We don't know. It might be great. That's why I'm going to wait for the review. Are you a celebrity in Orlando? Highly doubtful. Have you played the Fallout game yet? Thoughts? I'll wait for our review. It's coming this Wednesday. Let's see. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as he could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. That's a question I get asked often, and I almost always answer it. You tempt me. You tempt me, Internet. Donut or donut? There's no GH in it. Going, going, gone. That's the name of the game. Thank you. Going, going, gone from Stronghold Games. That's an excellent, fun auction game. When people stop you when they see you on the street to take pictures with you, does that happen? Like once every 6 months, I guess. Sometimes people stop me in the street and they're like, "Sir," stand on the sidewalk. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be on the street." So there's that. All right. Well, it looks like we have caught a lot of questions. I missed hundreds of questions, obviously, and I'm sorry. I did not realize there would be that many asked. My oh my, 600 people watching. Well, that's very nice of you guys. Go do something else. There's TV and things to watch. Go play some games. All right. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and so we have our teams for our next dice challenge. Now, this is a very strange challenge because we have an unknown team of weird dice, and then we have the Green Machine. Of course, they're from Greenland, and they hate other dice. Let's make sure the teams are fair. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. We're going to have to get rid of that die. So now they're 18 each. All right, and the green team has kicked one of their people on the bench. This team has decided to take them under their wing. And this gold one is over on the green team. That's right. So here's the thing, folks. The green team, they're from a rich neighborhood, Beverly Hills, California, and they are much better than everyone else. That's what they said. They really mock these dice because these dice have weird sides and weird shapes and weird things, but we're about to turn into all right, here we go. It's a single elimination thing. We have a 12-sided going up against a round 6-sided. Ha ha ha. Laughing at them, calling them fat. Let's see what happens. It is a 6 to a 3. The green side, though, changed to a 10 at the last minute. The judges are deciding if they're going to call that cheating or not. That's one elimination. Next one, we have a 11-sided die versus a 10-sided die. One more side. 5 to 1. The 11-sided has been canceled. Now we have a 20-sided versus a 20-sided. Seems fairly fair. 9 to 14. The first green has been eliminated. This team is cheered, but they're like, yeah, you have to use a normal die to beat us, blah, blah, blah. Now it's a 10-sided versus a 5-sided. 2 to 10. Although that does look like a 0, say the judges. And in fact, the judges have ruled it's a 0. No, we got to follow the rules. 0. Eliminate it. Feels a little cheating, but, you know, it is. All right, 10-sided versus 6-sided. And it's a 4 to a 2. Call me chubby now. Those are the eliminated ones. These are the ones kept. All right. We now have a 9-sided die against a 6-sided die. 3 to 1. The 9-sided wins. The green team is now quiet. The 20-sided against a double 6er. You couldn't go to 12. No, I couldn't go. I 1 through 6 is good. Shut up. I will crush you. 4 to 3. Well, you did beat him, but barely. Wait, didn't the 5-sider win? I'm putting the winners in here too. I gotta not do that. There we go. All right, a 5-sider against an 8-sided. Who's gonna win this one? 5 to 4. The 5-sider is out. Now a 100-sider against this 24-sider. 60 to 15. Wait a minute, that can't be 60, that should be a 6. Nah, you're going to play games? We're going to play games too. You can't stop us. All right, now we have a 14-sider against a 10. The gold has lost and been eliminated, but that's okay because he was only the coach, and he's going to be waiting along the stands helping people win. This weird bone-sided 6-sided die against an 8-sided. Who's going to win? 3 to 1. The bone-sided has beat. Greens are a little annoyed. A 7-sided die against a 4-sided? Doesn't even seem fair. 5 to 1. A 20-sided die against a 3-sided? No way. 2 to 4. You won, but in shame. I think the 7-sided won. I need to stop this. I'm messing up which dice are winning here, aren't I? I have 5 winners over here, and I have 3, 6, 7 losers over here. I have 6 winners, so a couple of these won. Oh, the bone die won. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These have been eliminated. These have been eliminated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we're back on track. All right, a 16-sided die against a 10-sided die. Oh, the 10-sided whooped up on a 16, 7 to 2. Another double 6 against another 20. 12 to 5. Another 20 against a 5-sided. Oh, things aren't looking good, but it's 2 to 1. The 20-sided has been eliminated. Another 5-sided die on 20s. You're so weak and pathetic. 8-2. Get out of here. Weeping he goes. And now a 12 against a 12. All right. No, this has been eliminated. All right. Well, the green side has 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's line them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left. And this side here has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. These are the rejected ones, as has been pointed out to me by the referee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. This one lost, and the 12 lost at the end there. Yes, okay, thank you. The judges have kept me honest. Okay. All right, we're going to start with a 5 to a 12. Who will win? 10-1, not even close. A 20 to a 12. 19-3, get out of here. 1 victory apiece. A 6 against a 10. Will the bone die win again? The bone die will not win, get out. A 7 against a 20, is that even fair? A 1 to 12? Oh, folks, looks like the green machine is going to be powerful again. A 9 against the 20-sided. 20. You're banned from the game when they roll natural 20. All right, a 5 to a 20. Oh, the 5 was eliminated. This is not looking good. An 8 to a 5. Tie. Both eliminated. And the 6 against an 8. Eliminated. Oh no. There are now 8 dice against 1. Come on, you can do it. Get back in the stands. Stay over there. Keep in your own lane. If you're going to come across again, go, go, go. Now, it's been suspected that the green team has been using steroids, but we will find out. 20 to 10. 16 beats a 0. Out. 20. We're going to start with the weakest ones to 8. 17 to 8. Out. 20 to 10. 15 to 9. Out. 20 to 12. 17 to 6. Out. What is going on? We love you. Whoa, cheating. 20 to 20. $12 to 10. Oh! 20 to 20 again. Can red do this? 15 to 7. Oh my goodness! 20 to 20. 14 to 9. Ah! We crushed you! And now we will have you put to death. What? Get in the tank. Load up. Get in.